I just got off a live. I don't know how many people are going to be here, but I'm going through my emails and I realize Dane Paulsen is missing from a town in Oregon. So we're doing kind of a breaking news segment. He has not been found. This gold car right behind me is no longer a person of interest. So now that I know that, we need to get started on this particular matter. And so what I need to do is, because this is a new case, this child has been missing for several days now, and nobody knows where this child is. We need all hands on deck at this moment. So what we need is, we need to start diving in. We need to start finding out where this is. We need to start finding out any information that we can related to this case, and start sending that over, legitimate information over to law enforcement, and start aiding in this this child's disappearance. We don't know if this child walked off. We don't know if this child was abducted. This child has not been put on the Amber Alert, 2 years old, a toddler. This is serious stuff right here. Again, the gold car behind me, no longer it matters in this case. The people have been brought forward and cleared. This was the only vehicle in and around the time that this child disappeared. And therefore, they don't know, they've reached out. People's been, talked to law enforcement. Allegedly, they must have been in the area for some reason, because they are no longer looking for this. It sounded like the child, I know you guys are going to blow a gasket. Please don't blow a gasket until we learn a little more, okay? We don't need to start blaming things. We're in a fact-finding mission right now to collect and gather as much information as possible. But allegedly, this 2-year-old child was playing outside without the parents, or out of the view of the parents. I'm going to read everything that we have available to us through mainstream media. I'm still working on diving. Again, I thought it was probably much better to put his face up on the screen and let's start working this case together. We're going to start doing some research and finding out a little more about this. I only pulled mainstream media stuff, so that's what we have to go on right now. We will try to take a deep dive, seeing what we find out in the mainstream media stuff. We may take a deep dive, try to take a look at maybe some social media, see what we can garner, heads or tails. I know people are going to get a little upset that the child was out of the view of the parents, but these things happen. So again, I want people to withhold judgment and any type of that's not what we're here. This is the first time we're touching this case. We need to support the family right now until we find out otherwise. Right now, it sounds like a 2-year-old child, may have walked off. Okay. So it might just be as simple as this child walking off. What's concerning is this child loves water and does not know how to swim. This is in a small community. I think it's a small community. I've never heard of it. It looks like Siletz, Oregon, if I'm saying that right. It's Siletz. So Siletz, Oregon. It seems like that would be the pronunciation of it, but I could be completely off base. Some of my phonics is a little bad. So I'm glad everybody's here to learn about Dane Paulsen. Again, there's nothing alarming other than he's missing right now. I haven't dived into anything to see, one way or another. I think law enforcement was kind of hopeful that this gold car would produce results. And we've learned in the last hour or so, this is not a person of interest in any way, shape, or form. So we are no longer looking for a gold station wagon type vehicle. If you guys see what it's like, a station wagon. We are no longer looking for that. That's been ruled out. Okay. It's been ruled out. Law enforcement's come out and said it's been ruled out. This Clementine, this child's been missing for like 2 days, long enough to be very, very concerned. This child is only 2 years old. So we've got a toddler that's out there that's been missing for 2 days. This is not good. So we need to keep our eyes and ears open, start doing some digging. I'm going to go through some stuff that I found with all of you guys right now. We're going to read it together so we are all on the same page in this case. So this is authorities in Oregon. Let me get over to that page. I'm still on my StreamYard. So the authorities in Oregon are searching for a 2-year-old boy last seen playing in the home's front yard, but out of sight of parents, in Lincoln County Sheriff's Office say. Dane Paulsen was reported missing around 4:25 on Saturday. So you guys know today is Monday. He's been a 2-year-old has been missing for a significant amount of time. The office said in a statement on social media, members of the sheriff's office, fire department, and police agencies have searched the property and surrounding areas on foot and with drones with thermal imaging equipment Saturday, the office said. On Sunday, search and rescue teams were conducting methodical searches of an area north of the small city of Siletz. I'm thinking that's how you pronounce it. Again, I'm not from there. I may be pronouncing it wrong. I do apologize. Near Siletz River, using divers and drones, dogs, and watercrafts. The sheriff's office said volunteers who wanted to help were urged to stay out of the main search area. Almost 300 people were involved in the search, the sheriff said. As of Sunday, 382 acres had been searched and 283 miles covered, the office noted. A vehicle and male driver, Dane's parents didn't know were spotted near Dane's home around the time he was last seen, were found and were no longer, this is where it comes from, no longer points of interest. Okay, so it's been eliminated. And I know that every minute counts, and that was a critical lead. The lead they were able to follow through with. They were able to locate the car. They were able to, I'm absolutely confident, verify any type of information that they needed to, and is no longer a point of interest, the office said Sunday evening. The office said that an Amber Alert hasn't been issued because Dane's disappearance, I want to highlight this because this is important that we need for another case, a case that we just had a 1-year vigil on. And it says disappearance does not meet the criteria to use the Amber Alert, adding that there is no evidence at this time to suggest criminal actions are involved in this incident. This is most likely, well, I shouldn't say most likely. There is a great possibility and probability that this child could have wandered off. That's why I said we have to withhold judgment until we get more facts to support anything else. Right now, that's what it looks like, and that's what I'm going to go with. Dane is friendly and fearless and is comfortable around strangers and water, but cannot swim. Dane is known for love of water and vehicles, the sheriff's office pointed out. So that's information. We also have I've just been going through all of the articles here about this young boy. Some of these just came out in the last hour or two, so I wanted to make sure that we knew about that. I'm not going to be playing any videos at this time, but we are going to be reading the information so everybody understands what mainstream media has put out related to this case. A massive search is underway in Oregon. Toddler, who was reported missing on Saturday afternoon, according to the Lincoln County Sheriff's Department. Dane Paulsen, too, was reported missing at approximately 4:25 on Saturday and was last seen playing in the front yard of his family's Siletz, Oregon home, out of the sight of his parents, the Sheriff's Department said in a statement on Sunday. We thank our community for sharing information and tips related to this investigation, the Sheriff's Office said. Our team and the community are working tirelessly to bring Dane home. Authorities have searched. We already went through how much they've searched. They've did a lot of ground searches. The child is friendly and fearless. We've already read that. Feels comfortable around strangers. That's, always a concern with little toddlers, especially in our environment currently, with all the crazy nutbags that like to do terrible things to our children for disgusting purposes. Paulsen has brown hair, green eyes, was last seen wearing a gray fuzzy hoodie with ears, black pants, and blue and white shoes, the sheriff said. Multiple search and rescue teams, 40 investigators, aerial drones, human trail dogs, and 138 community volunteers continue to search for Paulsen, authorities said. Marine teams and dive teams also begun looking in the Siletz River, authorities say. Lincoln County Major Crime Team and the FBI are assisting with the investigation and any new leads. Authorities said the FBI's Victims Service Division is also providing resources to Paulsen's family, authorities say. Previously, an adult male and a 1990s gold color station wagon, both of which were not known to the family, was seen in the area approximately 30 minutes prior to Paulsen's disappearance, but authorities have located the driver and the vehicle, which are no longer a point of interest. At this time, Dane's disappearance does not meet criteria to use the Amber Alert, according to the Sheriff's Department. The Department of Justice requires certain criteria to issue an Amber Alert, including the following: reasonable belief of an abduction occurred, the child is in imminent danger of injury or death, which I think any 2-year-old that's away from their mother that long would be at least meet that criteria. There is enough descriptive information on the victim and the abduction. The child is 17 years or younger, so meets that. So 2 of these requirements, or other important information has been entered into the National Crime Information Center, according to the department. So he doesn't meet all of the criteria necessary to issue an Amber Alert, which is really sad because this is a 2-year-old child that deserves some attention. But I guess the Amber Alert being a national notification, so to speak, versus just a state one, I think another type of emergency. But I don't even see an endangered child, flyer for him. So it seems like he doesn't meet any of the criteria currently for those. So that's one of the reasons why I'm stating that, this law enforcement is not putting up any flags that we need to look anything differently. You see what I'm saying? Oregon law requires visual evidence of an abduction. Bad law. Anybody in Oregon, if that's true, you guys need to be working to make sure that your laws are corrected to, better assist these types of cases. So if there are people in Oregon that are nearby that can go out and help, please do. If they are looking for searchers or anything like that, please do. Anything that we can do, if it's flyers that need to be hung and you're in the area, please do what you can to help this family. I beg of you guys to do that. Lots going on here, and this does not look very good. But again, one of those is there's no evidence at this time that any criminal actions are involved in the incident, police say. Officials said community members wanting to assist with search efforts can check in with camp post at Elks Tokatee. Oh, good gracious. Ilahi campground. I don't know. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that all incorrectly, and I apologize to my Oregon family in here. I do. I'm hooked on phonics. On Monday, or can report relevant information regarding Paulsen's disappearance by calling 541-265-0669. The Sheriff's Department said additional updates on the situation will be shared via social media and flash alerts. So we need to be on the lookout for those. And any of my family that's in Oregon that has local news, please keep us posted as you see local news come out. Please try to clip that if possible and send that over to me. I'd like some updates. We will start getting into the Facebook group, but I just want to make sure that everybody is ultra aware of this precious boy, especially in the Oregon area, because right now I don't believe that he would be out loose. Like, there's no evidence of any type of abduction, any type of foul play at this moment. You guys, we remember JJ Rawlins. He was here in Florida in Brooksville, I want to say. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but it was up north. I remember being up north when we were searching for him. A similar situation, okay? He got away from his mother. I think he was autistic. He might have been on the spectrum or something like that. Got away from his mother. I know where we were searching, there is no way that child would have been. If he was in the area we were searching, that child would not have it wouldn't have ended as well as it did. But that child also stayed out overnight. He was eaten up by a lot of mosquitoes, but he was, in all fairness, he was good. He came home. He was a little dehydrated, but he was found and came home, and he came home safely. So that is where we're at in this case so far. I want to stress that to everybody. We are looking for a child that is out there that wandered away from mommy and daddy. And I don't know this area. We're going to take a look at this area here shortly when we get a little more information. And we're going to look and see, if there's bodies of water. That's never, ever, ever good when we have a missing 2-year-old toddler that is attracted to water and cannot swim. A lot of children can't swim. I always, even if you don't have a swimming pool and you're in a state that doesn't really swim much, I always recommend learning how to swim, because it could save your life or somebody else's life. Oh, I don't want to play this. What am I doing? I want to read it. There's nothing to play here. And there's apparently nothing to see there either, other than just his information. They had a lot out there. They had the searchers. They had the mounted search. I'm sure ATVs. We heard drones, thermal imaging. Everything's been coming up short, which in all fairness is not a great sign for us. I'm going to have to pull this down just a little bit because I lost my audio. So give me just a second and let me get my audio back. I didn't watch that one. I probably should have before I put it up on the screen, but I didn't. It is what it is. It might just be music for all I know, because ABC, they do weird stuff. It's just going through all the information. So there's not a whole lot out there for Dane just yet. Again, this is now just becoming, when it starts getting on the national news, it becomes, it's a little more all hands on deck. So please reach out to your content creators. If they can start helping, this would be great. Let me just go over to Facebook and X and see if there's any more information that we can find out of what people are, might be saying. Usually you get a little more information from locals, So let me go ahead and share this. Pull that up. We're on Facebook now. Let me put it maybe something like this while we look until maybe something a little smaller. So there we go. Let me figure out which way I need to go. Delilah's right in the place for me to move my camera. Maybe I just need, there we go. All right, give me just a second. Let me start going through some Facebook stuff. Oregon Coast Explorer says 3 days for missing 2-year-old Dane Paulsen. Dane went missing from his yard at 4:30 Saturday afternoon. Yesterday, there were about 200 volunteers and SAR personnel out searching the area, covering 400 square acres. Over 200 miles have been covered. Update on the gold car is no longer in interest, and the car has been cleared. No Amber Alert was issued because it does not fit under the guidelines. So we know all of that. So the mom, this is what's wrote. Someone is posting false stuff. Obviously, you guys don't know nothing because none of these names match any of the names of the missing person, Dane Paulsen. Please, if you're not part of the search party, we're not trying to help. Please do not send stuff on the family's page. Otherwise, you can come to my house and talk to me personally. I guess there is some stuff, but it says, so mom of missing boy joined a missing persons group 6 days ago. Oh, so there's already starting to get some rumors out there about the mom. So again, guys, let's withhold all of that. Do not pass that kind of stuff around. I'm not seeing anything just yet related to this. They've already got an update, a group. Let me go ahead and join that and see if I can get some updates. And this one says, I know a lot of people have heavy hearts for the family at this time, but at this point, we have a 2-year-old boy that has been missing for over 24 hours. Person with car, not a suspect anymore. They're exhausting their on-site resources to find the boy. With my educated guess, I'm assuming that means that they think he's more likely to be near the water on the property. Is the house being investigated? Are the parents being questioned? Yes. Leave your fast to determine toddler outside unsupervised is unfortunate neglect. People may get upset at this post. And like I said, there's no perfect parent, right? Everybody has accidentally taken their eyes off their children. I don't care how perfect you think your parenting has been. I guarantee there's been a time maybe that you forgot that you took your eyes off your child. So that's why I'm very, very cautious with this one. I don't know what's going on, but I definitely don't want people putting out false stuff. That's why I wanted to make sure we were clear on the gold car. We're not searching for the gold car. We're searching for this beautiful baby boy. That's what we're searching for. So we will definitely be looking for this beautiful baby boy. Toddlers walk outside periodically too. Yeah. No matter how souped up our, they're very clever, right? They're very clever, and they're very exploratory too, right? And we've all heard the adage terrible twos. We all know that they're finding themselves. They're learning the word no, all these other things. Let me read. Commerce Mom VA. There are 2 big attractions to the water and boats. The boat ramp is across from his home. Wow. Yeah. And that's what's scary about this is parenting 101, don't take your eyes off your children, off a toddler ever. I agree 100%. But I know, I think of my mom being a very, like a perfect mom, like, right? An angel that God whispered in her ear, right? I think we all feel that way about our mom, mostly in part, right? Some of you guys may have some strained relationships, whatever. Not judging over here, okay? I'm just letting you know how I view my mommy, okay? I think my mommy's perfect, right? She's perfect to me. And she's my mommy. But I know when I remember scaring her. I remember jumping in the clothes rack. I remember, hiding from her and making her panic. I remember those days. My mom took her eyes off me once or twice. And that's why I know that if my mom did it as perfect as she is, right, that everybody else did it too. That's the way I look at it. But I just don't want. There's nothing here yet. We have to be praying over this situation, because it sounds like there is water around this child that he's attracted to, and we all learned from Riley Strain that when things happen, you go down, and it makes it very difficult to see, and sometimes it takes a few days to kind of come up. As sad as it is. And we're praying that that's not going to be the case in this case. We're praying that he's just J.J. Rollins and, in some bushes somewhere, just sitting there crying and doesn't know what to do and just in shock and doesn't know where to go and just, scared and just won't move. Right. That's what happened to J.J. Rollins. He got to a spot where he just kind of froze and he was scared. He didn't know where to go. All he could do was just sit there and cry. And, and of course, after a day or so, and the cry at that point was so soft you could barely hear anything but something like that. So we're praying for that, but that water being so close to his home and him not being, it's very concerning. It's very concerning. Now, I didn't hear he had any type of medical ailments or issues like that, but I know it's so easy to come out and just start blasting, especially the way it was. Parents take their eyes. It's like, us on our perfect pedestal, we're looking down upon them and saying, how dare you? And never once remembering that we ourselves weren't perfect grandparents or parents, right? I remember one time watching, well, I'm not going to say that publicly, but there's just been times. There's been times that you worry, you just worry, like you just did something that was stupid, like you just weren't thinking, and you just pray, and we were lucky, right? No one got hurt, but damn, that was stupid, right? Here's an update. This came in this morning at 9 a.m. So I have to say that this is pretty outdated. I'll put this up on the bigger screen so you guys can see the search area here. And it says, let's see if I can get it a little bit bigger. Okay. And it says update, Lincoln County Sheriff's Office. The Lincoln County Sheriff's Office and partnering agencies continue active search operations in the area followed on informational tips for Dane Paulsen throughout the evening of March 2nd and into the morning of March 3rd. These efforts are continuing today with officials completing additional ground, water, and air searches. The investigation team continues to follow tips from the community members. Information related to Dane's disappearance can be reported to the tip line. And again, that number is 541-265-0669. Community members interested in helping with search efforts can continue to report to the staging area. So they do have a staging area. I'm going to ask anybody that's local or nearby that has time to help and aid in the search, please go there and report to the staging area, which is the community staging area is out the Elks, and that's the Tokatee Ilahi campground. I know I'm saying that wrong. I just know it. And that's at 20590 Siletz Highway in Siletz, Oregon, 97380. So again, any member that's watching this, any community person that comes across this while they're searching for information and you'd like to know how you can help, that's the best way you can help, is helping and following law enforcement. They are asking for volunteers in the community to assist in this. They're at, they need as many people, boots on the ground as possible related to this case. And so I just really hope that we can advocate for this child. We can bring people together. We can get people activated. We can get people out there to assist, and we can advocate for his safe return and just pray upon this family. We've got a lot of stuff going on, but this is a toddler. This is this is important. This is, in my opinion, this is an emergency, right? This is an emergency. We have had a 2-year-old child missing since the afternoon of Saturday. It's been days. Those that can't help physically, you can help spiritually. So, excuse me, guys. I don't know what's going on. Hold on a second. My allergies have been really acting up. But for those that can make a physical contribution, please do. Those that can make a spiritual contribution, please do. All hands on deck. If you have any information that you can lead to help me understand this case a little better, as always, you can send that to bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com, because I'm still getting a lot of emails still on the Sebastian Rogers case. If you don't mind putting Dane's name in the title or the subject line when it's being sent so I can differentiate between the two cases, I would greatly appreciate it. But right now we have a 2-year-old toddler that is missing from his home. He has not been home for days. I can't imagine what his mother and his family are going through at this moment. And right now we just need all hands on deck. Anybody that can do anything. If you have a timeline started, if you have inside information about this case, please reach out to me at bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. I will keep you confidential as always, unless you want to be known for your contribution, then just let me know. Otherwise, everybody is confidential. I always take it as you're confidential until you tell me otherwise, not the other way around. So that's the only way your name gets brought up, is if I get your permission to bring your name up, unless I make an accident. But I don't make accidents on, stuff like this. So again, this child is missing. Let me remove this so you guys can see this beautiful face behind me. Again, the gold car behind me is no longer a person or a vehicle of interest to law enforcement. The person has been cleared. Okay. I know people say, well, they don't do this. Well, they did. Okay. They're no longer interested in that car. They're no longer interested in the person driving the car. The person has been alibied. The person had no involvement in this child and in this child's disappearance. I'm not engaging in any rumors about the family, the mom, or whoever was in the home at the time this child disappeared. Right now, our only goal with this child is to advocate and push his face out there as far and wide as humanly possible. So please go pull the flyer. I was able to pull all the stuff that you see just from Google, just from typing his name into the Google toolbar. Please type his name into the Google toolbar. Do what you guys do best. Get these flyers out there, get them across all social media, get them on Instagram, X, Facebook. Do whatever you can to get his face far and wide. If you are from Oregon, please reach out to me, bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. I might need you guys for some stuff. So I'll talk to you about that privately. Right now, we're just advocating for this young boy. I'm going to start doing what I do best, and that's getting on the ball and pulling as much information and doing a deep dive. I know, so sweet, like Quentin Simon. Oh, I don't even. I'm praying to God we're not going to have to at least compare notes from that case to this case. So right now, you know me, I don't like ever going into something where somebody isn't found within the first 48. You know me. It never makes me feel good. But again, we dot our I's and cross our T's over here. So we got to start getting our work in. So if you have anything that you can help me with, please do. Whatever you're gifted at, use your gift. I don't know what I need until I need it. So use your gift. If it's something that can contribute to helping advocate or find this child, please send it to bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. If you are sleuthing and you find some information that is relevant to this case, send it to me. And let me just put this caveat. If you personally know any information about this case or this child or anything like that, you have firsthand knowledge, always, it really irritates me when somebody goes on social media before they call law enforcement. And I know for a fact that there were several people that had information that absolutely 100% should have gone to law enforcement before they sat their little butts up on a channel talking about the information. There's nothing that really rubs me the wrong way than saying that you're advocating for a child, yet you ain't turning the information over to law enforcement before you yap about it online. So let's do this in proper order, okay? You get the leads. If you have firsthand knowledge, you get the leads to law enforcement. Then you come on the channels and tell what you've learned or what you turned into law enforcement, not the opposite. Okay. What else? The map. Let's look at Google Earth, see where we're at. I still don't even have an area that he disappeared from. Let me look at the flyer real quick and see if there's an area on here that might be beneficial here. Okay, I see. Okay, I've got a very specific address that was put on the flyer. Okay, so let's go to Google Earth. Let's get this Google Earth popped up. So we can look at the area online. All right, let me find a way to write this. You guys are going to have to just give me a moment while I go through the stuff I've got to go through to find out what we got here. Okay. Let me explore Earth. Hold on, there we go. 20738. All right. Sorry, guys. Okay. I'm spelling this wrong. Got my fingers in the wrong. Okay, here we go. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's not good. They're really close to that river too, y'all. Do you guys see that? Do I have that up? I don't even have that up. I'm so sorry. It's not pulled to the... Let me pull that off here real quick. There we go. Look how close their house is. This is their house. Let me put their address in. I'll put right there. Can't remember which one. There it is. Look at, there's their house right there. It is really close to that river. Does anybody know how fast that river flows? Very rural. Very rural. Very close too. Been missing 24 hours. Been missing longer than that, Peggy. We're on like day 3 right now. Yeah. I wonder, that's not good. Yeah, that is, I wasn't expecting all that. Wow. Does anybody live in this area that we know? I wonder which door is the front or back. Well, it's kind of sitting. It looks like the road's kind of out here. So it looks like that they would probably, I don't know if this is a family compound or not, like where a family member, you guys can't, I'm showing you. I don't know. This almost looks almost, I mean, just bear with me, like a family compound, because this looks like the road. Because you got the bridge right here. Like how, like it almost looks like the property's landlocked. So it looks like they can come up here and go in here. So it looks like even dirt roads. It even looks like dirt roads, but there's a bridge. Where does that bridge go over to? Oh, good gracious. Oh, good gracious. God bless those law enforcement officers. That is not anything. So it looks like they do have like there's a little bridge that comes over here, and it looks like this is a road, and this is a road here, but it doesn't look like they're paved like what we consider paved. It looks more like dirt. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's just get, no, they're paved. I see the lines. I'm wrong. They're paved roads. So let's just, okay, so we got that. Let's just go up here. Yeah, it looks like this is the entrance, but their property's landlocked. So, and I see campers on here. I see a couple campers on here. This, I can't tell if that's like that looks like a trailer here and maybe a trailer here. This looks like almost a compound. How many people live on this property with them? Because this is a house. You got a house and a camper up here. Maybe they share. It looks like they like share like this dirt road. You can see these, the car path, and it looks like it kind of goes right around here and right into here. But you got this house right here, and it looks like there's a camper back here. You got what appears to be like a house right here. Then you got this. You can see a truck here. You got this actual house. These look like possibly trailers. This looks like an actual, potentially an actual house, but it could be it could possibly be a double wide. And then you got an RV here. You can clearly see an RV here. You can clearly see another one here and another one here. A home that looks right here. It appears that these may be connected, but there's this weird little, like, I don't know, shadowing right here that might mean that they're disconnected and that this is a completely separate unit. Then you got this unit here, this unit here, and this unit here. Now I have in rural areas, this is not uncommon. You know, I don't want you guys to misunderstand. This is not typically uncommon. They have private drives that they, you know, usually if they have like 3 or 4 homeowners on a private drive, they work together to pave out their own, you know, stuff. I've seen that before. Nothing uncommon with that, but it doesn't look like they're out here by themselves. It does look like that there's potential of other people living on their specific property, because I counted 2 different campers, one that looks like a fifth wheel and one that looks like a tow behind, you know, and then you got the houses in the front. When any child disappears, I don't care where they disappear from, you look at everybody, right? You look at this is a potential of this child. I mean, look at this. For those people that don't understand, this is right by water. And here's a bridge right here. I'd like to know how much this flows, because you're talking about, what does a 2-year-old weigh soaking wet? 20 something pounds, 40 something pounds? 30s overnight. Oh gosh, God bless that child. But you see that river right there? That, if he's attracted to water and boats and vehicles, any water sources around. Yeah, they said they were in the water. They just didn't find anything. But my thing is, how fast does that river flow? Because a child, right? A 2-year-old doesn't weigh that much. Lots of family there. Well, it looks like it. If I had, I don't know the situation here, and I don't know if those are 3 separate lots for 3 separate families, or if that's just a compound. There are families out there that buy a large, large lots and put families on different parts of the lot, and they all kind of live. They all have their own houses and space, but they all live together. But I don't know the personal situation of any of these. But if this child got out of the view of the parents, that water would look attractive, very attractive to a child. And it only takes a child bending over and losing their balance, and they're in the water. And if that water is moving fairly fast or is deep, that child could have sunk straight down to the bottom, or come up halfway and is flowing with the flow of the river. I don't think the river is ice. They didn't say I don't see them doing water searches if the river's iced over. Just personally speaking, they wouldn't be referencing these water searches or something like that. And just in my opinion, I'm to mainstream media, not boots on the ground, can't tell you the pulse. I can only tell you what's available to the general public. And this is the situation. But there's still the possibility. I mean, they're right off of a road. I mean, it's obviously a main road. I mean, it looks pretty decent, road wise for this community. Let's see what else is out there. Let me go to Google Map and see where all this stuff goes. And then you got a park right across the street, the Ohala Park here. I always you got to look at all options, stranger danger. I mean, there's a public park literally right across from their property. Could somebody from the public park been hanging out there, watching this boy playing in his front yard? Is it possible? Yes. Yes, it is. And now you can see why they thought it was awfully odd to see somebody, driving by that they, in their neighborhood, because there's nothing really here. Look at this. Like, there's nothing. There is literally nothing this way. Look at this. I mean, we got a house right here. I just saw a house right here, a little compound here, but there's nothing. There's nothing. And then you got these houses over here. You see, you got stuff going this way. So you got some people with land and property over this way on this road. But there's just, I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of green. There's literally nobody around them, y'all, for quite a bit. Where their house is, look at that. It's this area right here. And there's nobody until you get way back here. Way over here. Let me see if I can get them all in one shot. There it is. Look how far away the nearest home is from them. Outside of this little bit right here. Now, over the river is a park. And the nearest person to this property here might be this person here. So they're really out there all by themselves. If it was an objection, they had to stalk for a long time to know their schedule. Great perspective. That's why it seems like it's probable that child went into that water. If there's no foul play deemed, And again, it comes down to what law enforcement is saying. Law enforcement hasn't enacted an endangered child alert. Law enforcement hasn't met the criteria for an Amber Alert. This is telling me that they truly don't believe that any type of foul play is low on the radar right now. Okay, that's what that's telling me. So I have to believe, just based on those two elements alone, they are also believing that this child may have gone into that water as a probability. Or the water, or in all fairness, look at this forest. I mean, I understand you law enforcement does its very absolute best, but how the heck can you look at every nook and cranny and all that? And how about, holes in the ground? Holes in the ground that might be insignificant to law enforcement, but is large enough for a 2-year-old boy to fall through. I remember one time, you guys remember we covered this. It was years ago for the ones that have been with me. We didn't go take a deep dive into it. It was somebody here in Florida and their child just vanished. Just vanished. It was very perplexing. Nobody could understand. I think there were a piece when you saw the parents, their emotion was so real and so raw. They were either really good actors or they had nothing to do with it. That was my determination, because there was such raw emotion for the longing for their child. Their child was found. Their child was found in the septic. They had put plywood that was covered with, fallen trees and branches. And the child must have walked across it, and the wood underneath gave. So the child fell through the debris from the trees that covered. But see, a septic system is supposed to have a concrete top. Apparently the concrete top must have broke, so they just took a plywood and put over it. And then over the years, the trees, the debris, the leaves falling on top of it, there was no foul play. The child was running in the yard and fell through that, but they didn't know the child fell through the septic because there was all that stuff on it, and people assumed underneath it was concrete. Well, when they started removing the brush and realizing that there was a big hole that had rotted through the wood, that's when they found the child. So I always keep that in the back of, not that they have a septic system, but I have to think that there could be something like that in Oregon, where there just might be a hole, maybe a well that, a natural well that just dried up and fell in, or something like that. There's a lot of stuff that could be attributed that produce holes in our earth that might not be, that even they may have walked over it, but because they're a lot bigger than a 2-year-old, it didn't faze them. They didn't even think to look down the hole, or they didn't even realize there was a hole there. So this place is definitely desolate. There's a lot of greenery here. This has got to be very tough on law enforcement. I mean, just the search alone. I mean, I'm sure that it being a 2-year-old boy, and, when it comes to our kids, our hearts always, work overtime for a child, right? I remember baby Jessica. Is that what it was? It baby Jessica? I couldn't remember what the story was. That was a very small hole. So you guys remember what I'm talking about. There may have been other cases like that, but this child was found, and this child was found deceased, and it was all just a horrible, horrible accident. So again, we try to keep everything where it needs to be. There's a lot that needs to come out about this case before we go off of anything other than this child got away from his parents. And so our only job right here is to put this child's face on the screen, tag him in posts, tag him in videos, and get the algorithm up until we find out, what happened to this child. And if you can go out and make a physical contribution, please do. If you need me to make some flyers, if they have flyers, I'm happy to make flyers. It's just getting out there and posting what you can, doing what you can. If you can go out there and search, go to the posted community spot where they're going to be putting you to work. And again, all hands on deck, folks. All hands on deck. So I'm going to start doing my job. I gotta get off here and start reading and reviewing everything. But if you guys hear anything about this case, please immediately send it to bullhornbetty@gmail.com or get the attention of my mods on Facebook, and they'll make sure I get it. So I appreciate everybody's time this afternoon. Let's do what the true crime community does best, and we make some noise. Let's make some noise for Dane and get his face out there for his parents. God bless each and every one of you. Please rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. We will be back later today. It came across. It was important enough for me to run a live on it, so I wanted to make sure I got this message out. We will be doing some updated lives on this and keeping our eye on this beautiful, beautiful baby boy. I can't imagine what his family must be going through right now. So let's keep them all in our prayers. More importantly, let's keep law enforcement in our prayers. You guys see what they're up against. Look at that area. It looks pretty brutal for searching. Okay. And that's just from Google Earth. I don't even want to know what it looks like from the ground floor. Okay. So God bless you guys. Love you. And this is what the true crime community is about. God bless. From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you, God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims.